Hi boys and girls, today's story is called The Dark by Lemony Snicket. Let's see what happens in our story today. I wonder if, before I start, if you can predict what this story might be about, what might happen. Shall we have a little look at the blurb on the back first? It says, "This is the story of Laszlo and how he stopped being afraid of the dark." Dark's a funny thing, isn't it? Sometimes we can be a little bit afraid of it, but maybe that's just because really we don't understand it. So let's see if this book can help us. Laszlo was afraid of the dark. There he is. There he is again, can you see? The dark lived in the same house as Laszlo. Do you have dark living in your house? I have it in my house sometimes too. A big place with a creaky roof, smooth cold windows and several flights of stairs. Sometimes the dark hid in the cupboard. Sometimes it sat behind the shower curtain. I wonder where dark hides in your house. Hides under my bed sometimes. But mostly its time was spent in the basement. Do you know what a basement is? Not many of our houses have basements. It's a room that we go down to with a flight of stairs, and it's almost an underground room. All day long the dark would wait in a distant corner, far from the squeaks and rattles of the washing machine, pressed up against some old damp boxes and a chest of drawers that nobody ever opened. At night, of course, the dark went out and spread itself against the windows and doors of Laszlo's house. Does the dark spread itself in your house too? It does in mine. But in the morning, the dark would be back in the basement where it belonged, and Laszlo would peek at the dark every morning. There he is, peeking downstairs in the basement. "Hi," he would say. "Hi, dark." Maybe because he was a little bit unsure of it. Laszlo thought that if he visited the dark in the dark's room, maybe the dark wouldn't come and visit him in his room. But one night, let's see what happened. It did. Laszlo, the dark said, in the dark, and it is all dark and black. Can you see? Do you think it's in his imagination or do you think it's real? The voice of the dark was as creaky as the roof of the house and as smooth as the cold on the windows. And even though the dark was right next to Laszlo, the voice seemed very far away. "What do you want?" asked Laszlo. "I want to show you something," said the dark. "I'm here," said the dark. "Here?" No, said the dark. "Downstairs." "Downstairs?" said Laszlo. "Yes," said the dark. There's the dark downstairs. Do you think Laszlo's going to go down and see? In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window in the house. Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him the roof creaked and he closed his eyes. Now dark was all Laszlo could see. No, the dark said again. "Not there. Down here." Can you see? Think he's going to go down? "In the basement?" asked Laszlo. "Yes," said the dark. And there's Laszlo with his torch, shining it down into the basement. Laszlo had never dared come to the dark's room at night. "Come closer," said the dark. Laszlo was very brave and he came closer with his torch. Even closer, said the dark. You might be afraid of the dark, but the dark is not afraid of you. That's why the dark is always close by. The dark peeks round the corner, it waits behind the door, and you can see the dark up in the sky almost every night, gazing down at you as you gaze up at the stars. Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your head. And without a smooth, cold window, you could never see outside, and without a flight of stairs, you could never go into the basement where the dark spends its time. Without a cupboard, you would have nowhere to put your shoes, and without a shower curtain, you would splash water all over the bathroom. And without the dark, everything would be light, and you would never know if you needed a light bulb. Bottom drawer, said the dark. What? Said Laszlo. Bottom drawer, said the dark. Open the bottom drawer. What's inside? Oh, thank you, said Laszlo. You're welcome, said the dark. What's the dark giving him? Is it giving him a light bulb? By the time Laszlo got back into bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep. Can you see? He's got a little night light now, hasn't he? The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement. Hi, he said. Hi, dark. But the dark didn't answer. But the bottom drawer was still open, so it looked like something in the corner was smiling at him. The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but it never bothered him, ever again. And there he is, quite happily playing with his toys in his room. So can you see? That dark is everywhere, isn't it? Sometimes. Okay? So it's nothing to be afraid of at the dark. It's just when the sun goes to sleep and the moon wakes up. But we can still make dark light with our light bulbs, with the stars in the sky. But it's nothing ever to be afraid of. We need the dark to help us rest and help us sleep. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.